It's your boy Kev coming back at you again with another podcast. Today it's just trios. I got my boy Darren to my right.
Ooh, what's up?
And I got my boy John in front of me.
Yo!
And today we do not have Kayla or Drew. Drew is coughing a lot, so he is not participating today. And unfortunately, Kayla has to be at work.
Because Andrew's basically coughing as much as I do on a regular basis.
Probably. He can't hold it, so.
And believe me, anybody, for my work who knows me knows that that's the truth.
That you cough a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's your diabetes?
Honestly, I really do think it is partially because of that.
Is that an actual symptom?
Yeah, I do notice when I have higher blood sugars, some of the symptoms are urinating a lot, sweating a lot, and then coughing a lot.
It's crazy how most of our conversations lead with diabetes discussions.
That's true.
It is very true.
Like every episode is like a diabetic, like how to real quick. Like, hey,
Right.
diabetic fact of the day.
That's
Right.
like diabetic how-to videos.
You're going to sweat and piss a lot. So,
Right.
It's like, oh, here's some DIY diabetic videos.
Anyways, so today we're going to be talking about the wildfires in California. We're going to be talking about some ozone layer stuff. So here we go. All right. So for California, as we all know, they've been on fire for the last week. And it seems like they're about to get some more heavy winds this upcoming week. So there could probably be a potential more of spreading of the fire. I saw something about different conspiracies, and then John found the list of them for us to go through.
how do I screen mirror it?
Oh, go down to the settings, but under landscape. Keep going. Go down to one more. Nope. That one. And then do the top one. No. Revert back.
Wait, what are you guys trying to do? Let's just explain to anybody who
We're trying to
leaves
make it so the very top...
Extend.
Up. Scroll up. There you go. We're trying to make it where both of our screens... when John pulls something up on the internet, it pulls up on both screens. Excuse me. Instead of only having it on his screen, or him have to like turn to look, bend his neck so that
Yes, yeah, make it more ergonomic.
yes,
Ergonomically viable.
and then it also will make it better for when we're talking to.
True.
But yeah, so one of the big conspiracy is land grabbing. Wow, I just lost my breath there. Crazy. But anyways, land grabbing conspiracy that the fires were started on purpose so the land could be sold, because some people in California don't even have home insurance, like a full coverage, because they already own their house and stuff like that, so they don't have to have as much coverage on it. Just like when you're when you buy a car and you have monthly payments, you have to have full coverage. But when you outright own your car, you don't have to have full coverage. You can change it to be different.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the conspiracy, is that because the insurance companies have jacked our rates up, a lot of people have stopped having insurance or full coverage. So, yeah, pretty much they're going to lose their house or their land just because they won't get any money to rebuild their house. And think about the price point of rebuilding there is going to be,
Oh yeah, it would be astronomical how expensive that would be.
And there's not even enough labor force to build everything.
Right, so you're not only talking extreme amounts of money, but also it would probably take years before it even gets started on.
Oh, at least a solid 6 months before anybody's house is getting rebuilt, because all the adjusters have to go out. That's also something too. They're deregulating their requirements for insurance adjusters, so that they can help speed up processes and stuff like that, so they don't need all the licensing that you normally need.
Okay. Well, then let me reverse this back to the land grabs. Now that you said that's one of the conspiracies?
Yeah, so basically, let's say you have a neighborhood of 100 houses, right? And everyone outright owns their house. And they all decide to not have full coverage on their house. So if their house like burns down, tornado or something like that, some disaster, they're not going to get all that money to be able to rebuild their house. Versus if they had the coverage. So like the biggest thing that's going on in California was like 3 months ago, most insurance companies took away their fire insurance due to, I should say, I think it's wildfire insurance, not fire insurance, because I think if you have a fire in your house, it's a little different than a natural disaster. But because California isn't cleaning their forest grounds properly. So it makes it easier for a fire to get going. And with the way the winds are, it's just heavy winds and just taking those embers and just going from house to house. And now it's just everything's ablaze, and they're supposed to be getting large amount of wind again this week. Also, the other big one too is the celebrity crime cover-up conspiracy. I was reading about that one earlier as well.
Wait, hold up. I want to go back to the land grab thing.
I said, do you want me to read this?
Well, hold up. So the whole land grab conspiracy, it's understandable on why that is one of the conspiracies. Because if you go to Maui, the fires that happened over there, everything I've seen about that is there's places like, I think, BlackRock, companies like that were getting in contact with people almost a couple of days later is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
And asking them if they could buy out their property.
Yeah. So basically, something that like Gavin Newsom did, and he made it seem like he did it longer than what he did, is that he made it where no one can contact anybody for 90 days.
Right, yeah. So it sounds like the reason he wanted to do that, which is smart, because if someone's like suffering that soon after an event like that, lost everything, it's kind of that shell shock, so they're not really going to be, in my opinion, psychologically fit to make a decision like that.
Well, yeah, but
because on the people wanting to buy their property immediately after, to me, I view that as predatory behavior.
Well, yeah, but I think it's also to just show face, because the way all this has been done, I mean, the defunding of fire departments and stuff like that, and the mayor wanted the fire department to be defunded even more, like a week or two before the fires broke out.
Right.
The reservoir of 1.2 million gallons of water, why was that emptied? You know?
Yeah, that just seems like not a good decision to do that.
Right,
yeah.
Over a little hole that they didn't know how they were going to repair. Ooh, it wasn't leaking the water out, from my understanding. It was at the top of it.
Okay.
So like they have like these special tarps over, or I believe that's supposed to help with less evaporation from the sun and stuff like that. So I think there was a hole in that. I can't remember, but it was all due to a hole, and it never got repaired and refilled. So it's like there's so much that went wrong there. John, if you do want to read the snippet, or if you already did read the snippet, what does that say?
Okay, so should I read the conspiracy theory ahead of time before we discuss it?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, you're staring at the screen. You should have been.
Well, you guys just started talking.
Sorry.
So.
No, I mean to yourself, read in your head.
So it says, another unfounded claim shared on social media suggests that Southern California wildfires were started to clear land so officials could make way for what they are calling smart cities aligned with United Nations goals.
Yeah.
The UN agenda to cut global emissions includes making cities more sustainable, and the Los Angeles area Smart LA 2028 initiative suggests revamping.
I can't see the word from here.
Renovation.
Highlight it.
Oh, renovating the city.
Yeah, renovating.
Transportation system, among other.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to read from this distance.
So, renovating the city's transportation systems along with other technology changes to make the city more greener. But the plan does not involve mass demolition or rebuilding. This conspiracy also gains traction after the wildfires in Maui, when a video of Hawaii's governor was clipped, taken out of context, shared to bolster the false claim that the state was aiming to create a smart city on scorched land. And similar theories were debunked after wildfires in Canada and Spain's Canary Islands.
I mean, that's kind of a coincidence if you ask me. The Maui thing, I mean, it was literally, I think it was like less than a few weeks after they said the smart city, LA went aflame.
Yeah. And especially the Maui one, because a bunch of the celebrities' houses never got burned.
Well, I think everyone's house that had a blue roof on it did not get burnt.
That's really weird.
Well, if it is the theory is like a laser from space, basically shot down, and it can't. The color blue can't catch on fire or something like that. You would have to look into that.
Interesting.
I honestly don't remember if we were talking about it when the Maui fires happened. I would be able to remember, and I'm sure it'll come back to me. But I thought it was something to do with the laser and not being able to burn, not catch the color blue on fire. Because if you look at pictures in Maui, there's cars that are blue that are not even scorched, but everything else around it's on fire. An umbrella, a chair, anything color blue, basically.
That's crazy.
Right. So, but yeah, that's kind of the land grab conspiracy, is that they just want to build a brand new city up, make it more greener, which still doesn't make any sense because all of China's pollution hits us in 3 days.
So they basically just wanted to go what's that movie, Maze Runner, Scorched Earth thing, where they just burn it down and start over?
Kind of, yeah. That's the thought. I mean, that'd be the only way you can do it in the States, man.
What if we so it's LA, right? So it's gonna be AstroTurf instead of real grass?
Maybe.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I would imagine not, because you need grass and not fake stuff. Grass is sustainable.
But compared to AstroTurf?
I mean, grass is regenerative.
But
it grows itself.
Compared to the turf, bro, you don't have to care for the turf.
Well, it doesn't grow itself.
Turf
it uses photosynthesis to grow.
Okay,
Darren.
So you guys talked about the celebrity conspiracy theory. I found this one.
Wait, time out. All right, Kev, let's do this.
If a plant is using photosynthesis to grow, for it to grow, that's the plant growing itself.
But it's utilizing the sun to grow itself.
Oh my goodness.
To have the ability to do it.
Dude, no.
Okay, that's like saying, if you're...
The sun is just its food source.
Right, but you need food to do the process. Take a human without food, we starve and we die.
Right, but the food, when you're growing, you use the food to help you, help with your growth, but...
Right, and
you're still going to grow no matter what, no matter how much food you eat. Just like the plants are going to grow no matter what.
But it's still the nourishment of the food source.
I mean, I guess, but it's still going to spread plus on top of that, it's a lot better for us to have grass than artificial grass.
Were you gonna say spreads like wildfires?
Yes, but
sorry,
you're like too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
Too soon.
But anyways, the conspiracy is like basically covering up a lot of crimes because of everything that could possibly come out due to Diddy.
I didn't think about that.
I think his house also got burnt down.
No, that's what this conspiracy theory says right here.
Oh.
So it says some posts reach that millions of people on TikTok falsely claim wildfires were sparked to destroy evidence in the sex trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs, falsely claiming his mansion was consumed in flames. In reality, Combs' mansion remains intact and outside the evacuation zone as of January 16th. His home was raided in March by federal agents who seized agents on the property, and people reported the home was listed for sale in September.
What was that?
I don't know. I just seen the whole motherboard there. It just do like a blinking thing when that pop happened.
Huh.
Okay, then it says false claims about celebrity homes also spread after the Maui wildfires, which some users sharing baseless claims that Oprah Winfrey helped start those fires.
Oprah, how dare you?
Oh, is that for the Maui?
Yeah, they're saying Oprah helped start the Maui fires.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think the conspiracy, like the land grab one, makes sense to me. That the best way to get the land that you need to build a new smart city is make it seem like a natural disaster. But we now know that there's a bunch of people going around and lighting the fires.
Right.
I wouldn't surprise me if more fires started this upcoming week, because apparently they're supposed to get a lot of wind, and it should be pretty much the same kind of wind conditions as last time.
Well, and too, the government can be behind it, not directly, but indirectly. And from an indirect sense, I'm meaning it as they won't do certain things politically that could help out situations like this to prevent them from happening.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe there's legislation that they could do better, but they're purposefully not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then things like this happen to where they build these future cities.
Well, right. And that's kind of like the whole mismanaging of like the forests and stuff comes into play. Maybe like
that was intentional.
Right. That they started it 5 years ago so you don't think about it today. But people, there's so much out there nowadays that you can't really get away from all that, But yeah, that's some of the interesting things about the fire. There's some more stuff that's coming along, and I feel bad for the fire chiefs in the cities and stuff like that, because they were kind of set up for failure. The water was running out. The biggest thing that shocked me the most was that because of California's regulations for like engines and stuff.
Yep.
Other fire trucks from outside of states were heading to California but couldn't go into California due to their not up to California's emission codes.
Right. And that's just the dumbest thing ever.
Right. You would think at that point you'd be like, hey, we need the help. Because I think they were traveling with water too.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how fire trucks all exactly work, but I'm pretty sure some of them can hold water, so much gallons of water.
Yeah, more than likely.
They have a tank, but usually some of them are just the whole truck is usually a pump, so that's why they need the hydrant.
Right. Yeah, I knew that. That's why That's why I was like, I don't know if it has water in it or not. But regardless, there's no water to use for them, and you can't just go out. Well, the craziest thing is, there's pilots out there for helicopters that are trained to be flying in bad weather and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Coast Guard goes out during hurricanes to save people if they need to, yada, yada, yada. But they weren't having helicopters out during the time of the winds and grabbing like water from the ocean and dropping it.
That would be something I think we should look up real quick. Is if there would be any
Can you do that, John?
reason to not use ocean water.
Yeah, why aren't they using ocean water to help put out the fires?
I think there is.
Or they might be now, but
I think there's a reason. I heard, I can't remember. This is so many years ago. Something about ocean water. I know I remember when I was way younger hearing something about them, the reason why they don't use ocean water. I just can't remember what it is, though.
Because, like, the only thing I could think of is whatever it's what it's made of. Like, this, you know, they say it's salt water, but...
I figured it was something because of the salt.
But, yeah, because, like, salt can, depending on what it is, increase the, like, intensity.
It says... Salt water is corrosive. Some of the firefighting aircrafts are only built to carry and dispense flame retardants, not water. And for those that carry water, salt water isn't often used because its salinity can damage equipment. Salt water can create similar issues for firefighting systems.
Ooh, oh well, pump that shit out there and get it going, because I'm sure it's cheaper to replace the helicopter and the fire trucks than it is to replace the billions of dollars that it's going to cost to rebuild everything.
Right.
I mean, some people's houses were like $5 million a pop, you know? Think about all those houses and...
Sorry, I dropped it. If you heard that, that was me dropping a bottle. Sorry.
Like regular houses that shouldn't even be worth $1 million, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
So it's just, I feel like rebuying new helicopters and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, they're probably expensive, probably take time, but it might be outweigh the cost of rebuilding a whole city.
Well, and too. For this situation, I doubt it would cause that much damage to everything. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, I mean, I get it that if you feed the fire hydrants or the trucks with it, it could eventually clog the system because it's not able to filter the salt out or something. But I mean, it's 2025. Why aren't we having like a way to filter out salt? You know?
Oh yeah. Well, and too, the whole helicopter thing. You ever see those videos where they go down into people's pools?
Yeah.
With a big bucket. That's all they'd have to do too, because that's not going to damage anything.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because it's just a big bucket. What's it going to do to that?
Right. Yeah. If that gets rusted, what's the worry?
What's it matter?
You guys talking about helicopters?
Yeah.
I just Googled that. It's crazy. So it says firefighting helicopters typically don't use ocean water because the salt content in the salt water is highly corrosive and can damage the helicopter's equipment. It says including the water bucket and pumps, making it less efficient and potentially dangerous method for firefighting. Fresh water is preferred to minimize corrosion and ensure optimal functionality.
But like the bucket, what's the I don't get that part, you know.
It's over time, bro. They gotta get their money out of the bucket.
Oh, again, I think it'd be cheaper to replace a bucket than a city. I don't think one of those buckets costs $1 million, and one person's house, some rinky-dink house, can cost $1 million in California. You know, so I highly doubt that bucket. Look up how much those buckets cost. Because if they only cost like $50,000 to make, man, you better line those up and let's get them rolling.
Right.
Well, wouldn't like chlorine and stuff like that corrode a bucket too? A metal bucket?
Maybe.
Because I'm assuming it's a metal bucket that can like open up from the ground.
Yeah, and I was thinking this too, is even at that, they could still... Well, never mind, they don't have any water though, do they? I was going to say they could just use like fresh water to spray it all out. But if they have the fresh water to spray it all out, then they would just thus be using the fresh water to put the fires out.
They should just destroy those dams and let that water flow.
They should make Gavin Newsom fight the fire. And just say, oh, you're deputized as a firefighter. Get in there.
Yeah, he should. I know he's trying. I don't know if he's doing his best, but I feel like he is now trying to do his best, make everything right. But
he's just trying to cover his.
Does that say $2,000?
I found the original name of what these things are called. So a heli bucket, also known as a Bambi bucket, typically costs between $7,000 and $30,000, depending on the size and features.
Oh my gosh! Rust those buckets out. Let's go. That is cheap compared to one person's rinky-dink house that costs $1 million. You could buy even at $30,000 for $1 million, man. You could buy, 3 per 100,000, so 30 of those buckets, and then still have some money left over versus replacing one person's $1 million house.
But you gotta remember, though, the systems on the helicopter could get damaged. But I wonder how, though. Do you think it's just with the force of how the air is going from
going down, dipping it in the water?
They
and then
don't have to
splashing.
go that low, you know.
But you might still be getting seawater.
The risk, just the risk in general, probably.
Because you got like the airflow pushing down to push a helicopter up,
right?
So it might potentially be pushing because they got to get real low. If you've ever seen that, so it might just be the water, maybe just is getting up into the helicopter's engine, perhaps.
Well, you think it's in the air too,
yeah.
So probably just like seawater exposure, probably too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like the way they're making it sound is like it's gonna start corroding like right away.
Right, you're talking like Alien, right? The acid blood.
Yeah.
Once it gets on you, your arm just melts off in seconds.
Right, that's what they're making it seem like. I don't think a helicopter running 30 times over the ocean in one day is gonna do enough to damage. I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know.
Well, and if they were truly worried about it, why not get a bunch of those buckets lined up on the beach? Just get a pump system. You keep them all full. Helicopter comes in, get a crew. They'll unattach it. It just hovers over to the next one. They reattach it, give the signal. It flies off. It doesn't even have to go over the ocean at that point.
They'd have to desalt this water, so they have to boil it first.
Well, actually, let me see how that would work. I've seen this before. So, yeah, you'd have to boil it into a gaseous state to get the salt out of it. Then you'd have to do the whole engineering process to
Reverse
get the fresh water.
You guys are just making it seem... Yeah, I don't know.
They want to use just fresh water in general, so to make salt water fresh, don't you? But yeah, you just boil it, right? Though.
Well, that I mean, there are systems out there that can filter it, but they're expensive, and they won't filter enough to like make a difference. But what about like getting like tankers, like gas tankers or something like that travel gasoline around and pumping water into those and then bringing those to like fire trucks and then they shoot it, can pull it out. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass right now, but
I know what you mean.
There has to be a way that we can use stuff, even though it might damage things like the helicopters. If it's gonna ruin, like, you know, the what is it called, is it the halo bolt or nut or whatever that keeps the rotors attached to?
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever that's called. If that's like gonna get damaged real quick, and then yeah, you don't want to fly helicopters. But man, there has to be a way for us to just quick use the water. Don't worry about the damages, because again, the damages that are being done right now, probably replacing a truck is probably cheaper than replacing all the houses. Because you know you're going to be able to use that truck and things like that more than one time.
Oh, yeah. Like, for example, my car, it says low tire pressure. It's been saying that for damn near a year now. And, hey, I'm still driving it.
You probably should check your tire.
I know what you mean.
You should probably check your tire pressure. He said,
hey,
I've been driving it for a year. Hey, it's all good.
fuck
Hey,
that
hey, I still
indication.
got here, didn't I?
He
Yeah,
said
you
that's
did.
just a warning.
Right. I mean, it could also be a faulty sensor too. But yeah, so I was thinking that's probably enough info on that wildfire. Let's talk about what you wanted to talk about, Darren. Now, if you guys do want us to do anything, leave suggestions in the comments, and we can look that stuff up too for you guys. All right, Darren came prepared with some notes on another topic for the night.
All right.
I'm excited for this.
Hold up. I'm about to sneeze.
Bazinga. Kapinga.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Are you?
So this is where I saw this article. I was on Google, and you guys know how Google, you click on it, have a bunch of articles and stuff like that,
like
right?
that. Interesting. This you might find this interesting or recommend it.
Yeah, like the recommended articles. Yep. So this one, it just said NASA is tracking an anomaly in the magnetic field around the Earth. It's called the South Atlantic Anomaly. It has been concerning scientists for years, especially NASA scientists. The anomaly was discovered in 1958. Now, the anomaly itself, it's a giant region of lower magnetic intensity in the skies above the planet, stretching out between South America and Southwest Africa.
Okay, wait. So they're saying that our magnetic field in that area is weakening?
It's what it sounded like, yes.
So, but how is it weakening?
That should be something we should look up.
All right, John, can you look that up? How does the magnetic field weaken on the Earth? Okay. Continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
All right, and then, so I'll give a little background on what does the magnetic field do. It acts as a protective shield, deflecting harmful charged particles from the sun, so solar wind, and cosmic rays from space. So with that being said, if the magnetic field is weak and then you're getting a bunch of the harmful radiation and stuff like that from space, you're going to have issues with your satellites, your electrical grid, pretty much electronics in general, the stuff like that.
So, is that like gamma rays? Is that kind of what it is?
Gamma rays,
Or is that comic books?
no, gamma rays exist. No, I think when I was reading that, I think it was just giving a generalization of just cosmic radiation in general.
Okay, I get you. Yeah. And then, like, I remember reading back in 2020, which we can pull it up here in a second, but that our ozone layer was actually repairing itself a little bit during COVID due to not many people driving cars and travel restrictions and stuff like that.
Right. But you got to remember the ozone layer is made up of several layers.
Oh, yeah.
So it depends on what specific layer that was talking about.
Again, 2020, we're 5 years from then. I totally don't remember. My little SpongeBob guy is looking through my filing cabinets in my brain right now.
And also too, you'd have more susceptibility to cancer and stuff like that
because of like sunburns and stuff.
And so then just any kind of like radiation in general.
Interesting. Would that make like animal or not animals? Well, maybe insects and stuff like that grow more.
I don't
or
really
is that
think
oxygen.
I think that's oxygen. Reasons being is NASA at one point or another, probably still are, have brought fruit flies up into the space station and then studying, higher oxygen to growth rates per fruit flies. And the little tiny little fruit flies in the space station are as big as your regular housefly.
With more oxygen?
With more oxygen, yes. But it seems, with those testings, insects are more prone to getting bigger with more oxygen.
So wait, what about humans? Do you think humans would get bigger with more oxygen?
I think from a biological standpoint, no, but I'm not a scientist.
That's true.
But I just think with bugs, how just their whole biological system is. Because it is different than a human. Some of them, they have like the exoskeleton type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think it's biologically they're just different than humans. So they'll be affected by more oxygen than we would.
Interesting.
But the way, I could be wrong here, but I do remember hearing before, more higher the oxygen rate is for a human, it's harder to breathe. There's something like that. If you're in a higher altitude area, isn't there something like that?
Yeah, because there's less oxygen.
Oh, less oxygen.
Yeah, the higher you go up,
so
the
if
less
if you get more oxygen, you can run and do things longer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why they got like those like masks to help restrict your breathing, so that when you take it off, it's easier for you to do things.
Okay. So it says while oxygen is essential for cell growth and therefore plays a role in the body's ability to grow, simply having more oxygen does not directly lead to increasing the body's size in a healthy human. In fact, too much oxygen can be harmful and even toxic, potentially enabling growth due to oxygen toxicity.
Well, yeah, look what happened to Michael Jackson.
Pepsi.
What do you mean?
Oh, you don't know that? There was a point in time where he started sleeping in an oxygen container.
And the Pepsi set him on fire.
Right.
What?
No, the whole Pepsi thing, it was a whole freak accident. His hair caught on fire because one of the pyrotechnics malfunctioned.
No.
You're talking about the oxygen?
Yeah.
No, yeah. He was sleeping in like an oxygen thing bed.
Why?
Because he was told that it helps him stay, or I don't know, like stay younger, but like look younger. So he was sleeping basically.
It was cryogenic beds, like kind of like with the gym.
Oh.
But they freeze you and make you like feel better.
Yeah, but this one
keep you younger longer.
But it was oxygen in his part, so he was just sleeping in pure oxygen.
Oh. So then, like, if a lighter or match or something, that would just ignite itself.
That potentially.
Is that how the Pepsi got? What?
No. These are two separate things.
Oh.
No, the Pepsi one, I think he was just walking down to the stage or something. And then it's just the way that the pyrotechnic thing blew up.
It was a commercial, and then he was dancing, and they set off a pyro, and it caught his hair on fire.
Oh.
But
that's what it is?
Kind of like one of these chambers. Like a sleep
one
chamber.
Of those ones.
Wow. Interesting.
So he probably had lack of oxygen or something. They were sleeping in this thing every night to get more oxygen into his body or something.
Right.
Yeah, it could be. I always just heard it's because it helped him look younger or something like that. I don't know.
I could see that. I could see that. There's so much that you can do nowadays. Like, there's a guy that basically spends like $3 million a year, and he does all this testing and stuff like that.
Okay.
And here you go.
His name's... Oh, sorry.
Here you go. Go ahead.
No. Oh, I was going to say his name is Brian. I can't remember his last name. But he basically is kind of like reversing his age with the stuff that he's doing. So it's kind of interesting. We can look at that here at a different time.
Right. And this will be super quick, but we should also look at too the blood transfusions, because these rich people pay these gym bros to just stay healthy and all this stuff, and then they'll do like blood transfusions with them for the rich older person to actually retain their youth.
Interesting. We'll have to look into that.
So it's called hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It can help reduce the signs of aging, improve skin health, and elasticity.
Oh, is that because of like the damages done to his skin, or he just wanted? I guess
probably just to stay young.
And just to stay looking young.
Okay, that's interesting. I would have never guessed that more oxygen could keep you looking young, but I guess that kind of makes sense because if your cells are able to regenerate quicker with more oxygen.
Well, And two, I mean, I know Thriller was his favorite, song that he did, but he doesn't want to actually look all screwed up.
Oh, fair enough. That's fair. But now we gotta get back to it. So, where did you said this was South America to South Africa?
Yeah, but John was gonna look up something else, and we got completely sidetracked.
Oh yeah.
Is the magnetic field currently weakening? So, with measurements showing a global average decrease around 9% in strength over the past 200 years, this weakening is partially noticeable in the South Atlantic region, stretching from Africa to South America.
I guess the dome is weakening.
Well, what's causing it to weaken?
He says possible causes. The weakening is likely due to changes in the movement of molten iron within Earth's core. Through the exact mechanisms are not fully understood. Potential consequences: while a weakening magnetic field could potentially increase exposure to solar radiation, scientists don't currently anticipate major disruptions to life on Earth at the current rate of decline.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, we got nothing to worry about.
Wasn't this a plot of that one movie, The Core?
Mess it up.
Oh,
Didn't they have to
when they had to hack the Earth's core or whatever?
Yeah,
right?
when they had to put all the like the nukes or whatever around it to make it spin.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
But okay, so how about this one? Let's get everyone's thoughts on this. So let's just say it got super bad, whatever, and let's just say the anomaly was disrupting electronics, satellites, GPS, internet, stuff like that. How crazy do you think society would get? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the last thing I want to do, and I mean this, last thing I want to do is have no GPS, because I don't want to have to be looking at a map somewhere trying to figure out where I'm going just to wait a half hour for someone to walk up to me and say, oh, hey, excuse me, sir, the map's upside down.
It'd be fucking crazy. See Darren out there wrestling a fucking polar bear for a Bluetooth headphone.
Right. I would have to.
Dude, he's talking about GPS, and I'm thinking, man, your sensors wouldn't work. How would you check your blood sugars? Because all electronics would be gone.
Oh, you would have to risk it.
I would have to just cross my pancreas and hope I don't die.
What if we just remove your pancreas?
I mean, it wouldn't really be much of a loss at this point.
Dude. Yeah, life would be a lot different. I guess you probably know your body by now that you could probably survive.
Yeah.
Like you.
For the most part.
Right. It'd be the trickiness of going to bed.
Right.
Now that I'm pancreas free.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would lose my mind for a little while, and then eventually I think I'll be fine. 'Cause eventually you will forget how it was, or you would become accustomed to not being able to use any technology and stuff.
Right.
But are we talking like lights out too? Like pitch black at night?
Yeah. I think they could fix it and bring it back, because even if there was just constant, solar radiation, solar winds, whatever they want to call it, that's causing this to happen with electronics being down, I think humans are smart enough. I think we're smart enough we could figure out something that would counteract that.
Well, we would have to just rebuild.
Yeah, we'd have to rebuild things differently, so there would be a way. But for a long time, it'd be pretty difficult without electricity and stuff like that.
No, because think about it. How do you think they got the space station to work? That's exposed to radiation all the time.
Yeah, but doesn't it have more solar capability?
Then we would have to be fully solar. Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily.
But if we're talking all electronics going down because of the...
Well, the issue with that, though, it sounds like it would short circuit and mess up the actual inner electronics of devices. You know what I mean? So we would have to rebuild things in a way to block out any kind of...
I don't think that...
disruptional forces.
What do they do for the space station, John? I see that you pulled it up.
Like, you mean the power source, correct?
Yeah, so the space station laboratory to experiments, that's what it is. Which means connected, called nodes. So it says solar arrays provide energy for the station. So solar panels.
Okay. So they have solar panels. So solar panels would work with higher radiation.
Right.
So we would just move to that. But then again, you could probably do nuclear.
Right. But I think the space station's built like with stuff to protect the electronics, though, from the solar events. Because it might have... Well, think about it like this, okay? Think like the studio here, right? Think about the difference. Okay, it's cold right now. It's super cold outside, right? So think about the difference in having insulation opposed to not having insulation.
Yeah.
If you don't have insulation, it'd be freezing like crazy in here.
Yes.
Now, with insulation, it's not. So that's what I'm getting at with them protecting the electronics in the space station to where it doesn't fry out or whatever.
Okay.
So here you go. So the International Space Station protects astronauts from radiation primarily through a combination of its physical structures made of materials like aluminum, which act as a shield, and by its structure, by strategically placing additional shielding materials like polyurethane and high occurring or high occupancy areas like sleeping quarters.
Right. So that's what I was saying. They got shielding on their stuff.
Huh. So we would just have to basically shield every house to make electronics work.
Yeah, basically.
Cover every house in aluminum.
Or we could just shoot a nuke at the sun.
No, I don't think that would work. Ooh, speaking about that, there was we finally had a spacecraft go past the sun to we'll go over that a different time, but
yeah.
I thought you were going to say fly into the sun. I was like, what a dummy.
No, it didn't fly. It's not. It's non-manned. So it's just orbiting the sun now. I think at a distance where it shouldn't. It should last a little while before getting destroyed.
Right. Yeah.
Possibility of the sun pulling it in. It's also the fastest man-made object.
Yeah, because it got to the sun pretty quick, didn't it?
Oh no, it took years, but
it took years?
Because it's in the sun's orbit, it's whipping around at a quick rate. So, but anyways, guys, we're gonna end it right there. Appreciate you guys tuning in this week. I hope you guys all have a great one, and catch you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bazinga. Kapinga.
Oprah.
Cross my pancreas and hope I don't die.